The room shivered before the clock even struck the final hour. 60 minutes left. The night felt wrong, stretched too thin, like something had peeled the edges of reality and left them fluttering. You didn't know why you felt suddenly cold, why every sound seemed too sharp, why your breath seemed heavier than moments before. But then the light flickered, once, twice, and a presence unfolded behind you like wings opening in silence. You didn't turn. You didn't need to. You knew. Archangel Michael was standing there, his voice, deep, resonant, a whisper containing thunder, cut through the room like a blade made of sunlight and ancient law. Something unexpected is happening, he said. In 30 seconds. The air convulsed around you. The floor seemed to bend. For a moment it felt like time itself had inhaled sharply, waiting for something catastrophic. What is it? You asked, though your throat felt sealed by dread. Michael didn't blink. Angels didn't need to. His eyes, glowing with molten gold, locked onto yours with a clarity that made your heart pound. Black magic, he said. A force you were never meant to face. She used your photograph. And she used it with intent. A chill crawled from your spine down to your fingertips like frost. You knew who she was before you even asked. The name burned itself inside your mind, as if someone had carved it with a heated needle. He continued. You must open it immediately. He pointed to your phone, or rather, the black screen that suddenly vibrated, as if something behind the glass wanted to claw its way out. The device trembled on the table, rattling against the wood, glowing faintly with a shimmer that was anything but natural. Michael stepped closer. The air around him hummed, vibrating with celestial tension, feathers of invisible wings brushing the edges of your soul. She invoked a forbidden ritual. Something that binds by image, breath, and shadow. She shouldn't have been able to do it, but someone helped her. Your pulse hammered. Who? His gaze flickered upward as though scanning beyond the human world. A presence that cloaks itself. A force older than her fears and stronger than her desperation. But its fingerprints are clear. Then the room shook again, more violently, like thunder but without sound. The lamp tilted. Dust spiraled upward instead of falling down, defying gravity. The phone glowed brighter, pulsing with a heartbeat that wasn't yours. 20 seconds left. Michael looked at you, and for the first time, you sensed something older than divinity in his expression, concern. You must stay focused. The photo she used, your image, was taken during a moment when your guard was down. That makes the magic stronger. She attacked your reflection, your shadow, and your breath all at once. How? You whispered, by calling your name 3 times during the ritual, he said. And by drawing the seal of severance behind your likeness. You staggered. You didn't remember posing for any recent picture. But then it hit you, the one she insisted on taking, smiling sweetly, like it was nothing, like it was innocent. The flash had felt strange at the time, too bright, too cold. 15 seconds, the phone vibrated harder, sliding across the table on its own. Michael didn't touch it. He simply watched, unblinking. You must be ready. When you open it, the connection will be exposed. The darkness she called will try to reach through. It will try to latch onto you, through your eyes, through your pulse, through the image of yourself reflected on the screen. You swallowed. What happens if I don't open it? Then it opens itself, Michael said. And you don't want that. 10 seconds, the air felt suffocating, pressing in from all sides. Shadows crawled up the walls like living ink. The ceiling bowed downward as though something pressed its weight against it from above, from beyond. The clock on the wall froze, not at 0, but suspended mid-tick, the second hand trembling as if wrestling with an unseen grip. Michael spread his wings, not fully, but just enough that light rushed into the room like a storm of radiance. It pushed the shadows back, but only for a moment. Because now the shadows pushed back, they're stronger than they should be, he murmured. Someone is feeding them. You felt your stomach drop. Who? His jaw tightened. You're not the only target. The phone suddenly stopped vibrating. Completely. Perfectly still. 5 seconds. Open it, Michael commanded. 4. Your hand hovered. 3. The glass shimmered with a distorted reflection. Your face, but twisted, as if someone had dragged a finger across the image, smearing your expression into something unfamiliar. 2. The air felt torn open behind you. 1. You touched the screen. The moment you unlocked the phone, darkness exploded outward like ink dropped into water, but in reverse, flooding toward you instead of away. The light in the room dimmed to nothing, and you felt your breath hitch as though invisible fingers gripped your lungs. Your photo appeared. Not the one from your gallery. Not the one she took. No, this one had been altered, mangled, its edges burned, your eyes blackened out entirely. And over your face, a symbol was drawn in thick red strokes, like dried blood, the seal of severance. Michael slammed his staff of radiant fire into the ground, shaking the darkness off you in a violent burst of golden shockwave. She was not meant to know this sigil, he growled. She was guided. You stared at the photo. The longer you looked, the more you saw movement, your own face twitching, shifting, struggling inside the picture as if begging for release. This isn't possible, you said hoarsely. It's just a photo. No, Michael corrected. Not anymore. From within the photo, a whisper echoed, a voice not yours but shaped like you, twisted like a reflection possessed. Come. Let me out. You dropped the phone, but it didn't hit the ground. It hovered mid-air, spinning slowly, shadows curling around it like vines. Michael stepped between you and the levitating device. She opened a gateway for something she could not control. And it wants you. It has tasted your presence, touched your likeness, anchored itself to your shadow through the photograph. The phone's screen flickered. And then another image appeared. Her eyes were wide, panic frozen on her face. Her hands were covered in dark ash. Something was pulling her backward into pure blackness. She screamed without sound, then the screen went blank. Michael's wings snapped open fully, flooding the room with a surge of divine power that forced the shadows into retreat. She unleashed something far beyond her understanding. And now it hunts everything connected to the spell, including her. What do I do? You asked, shaking. Michael looked directly at you, his expression grave. You must face what she called. You must sever the connection before it becomes permanent. And you must do it before the hour ends. How? By entering the place between the image and the shadow, he said. A realm mortals are not meant to walk. But you have no choice. The phone rose higher, glowing with unnatural darkness. A rip in reality tore open behind it, a vertical line widening into an impossible doorway, inky, trembling, whispering your name in 1,000 distorted versions of your own voice. Michael pointed toward it. The moment you step through, the magic will try to break you. But remember something crucial. What? You are more than the image she used. The doorway pulsed. You are more than the fear it feeds on. The whispers grew louder, and you are not alone. He placed his hand on your shoulder. I will guide you. But the courage must be yours. The portal surged with violent hunger. Time, frozen for the last minute, suddenly began ticking again. 59 minutes left. You stared into the doorway, into your own voice calling from a darkness that was not your own. Then you stepped forward. The moment your foot crossed the threshold, everything changed. The world behind you dissolved into a smear of color and distant echoes. The air folded inward like a collapsing universe, and your stomach twisted as though gravity had forgotten how to hold you. You reached out, but your hand touched nothing, because here, inside this realm between image and shadow, nothing existed the way it should. There was no floor. No walls. No sky. Only a shifting darkness that wasn't empty at all. It was crowded, thick, breathing, alive. The shadows pulsed with every heartbeat of yours, reacting, remembering, pulling at you with invisible hooks made from memories you didn't want to face. A faint golden glow formed beside you. Michael, but even he looked different here, blurred at the edges, distorted like a reflection on black water. His wings flickered as though struggling against the unnatural density of this place. Do not trust what you see, he warned. This realm shapes itself from your fears. And it shapes itself from the intentions of whoever summoned the ritual. You swallowed hard. Her. Partly, he said. But there is another mind behind this. Something older. Something patient. A ripple passed beneath your feet, even though there was no ground. Something unseen brushed against your ankle, cold and curious. You jerked reflexively. Michael raised a hand. Stay still. Another ripple. Then another. Shapes formed beneath the darkness like submerged creatures rising toward the surface. Something whispered your name again, but this time, it wasn't distorted. This time, it sounded exactly like your voice. You turned sharply. A figure emerged out of the shadows, stepping forward as though walking up a staircase only it could see. It looked human. It looked like you. But its movements were wrong, each step folding time a little too much, bending motion a little too far, as though obeying a rhythm no living thing should follow. It stopped an arm's length away. Its face was identical to yours, but its eyes were hollow black voids filled with swirling smoke. Like someone had replaced your soul with ink. It smiled. You left me behind. Michael stepped between you and it, his sword flaring with golden fire. Do not speak to it. The doppelganger tilted its head, grin widening until it nearly touched its ears. Why not? They created me. They abandoned me. They owe me. Your pulse hammered. I didn't create you. It laughed, and the sound cracked the darkness like breaking glass. Oh, but you did. Every fear you hid. Every moment of doubt. Every time you looked at your own reflection and wondered who you were becoming. Its voice deepened, stretching unnaturally. I was born. Michael raised his sword, wings bracing. This is the echo form of the image she used. A distorted construct made from your shadow. If it touches you, you become part of the spell permanently. The double sighed dramatically. Always so dramatic, angel. Then its tone shifted, soft, pleading, familiar. Don't you remember that night? When she held your photo and whispered your name? When you felt a sudden chill and thought it was nothing? When something tugged at your breath, and you brushed it off? I was born that moment. It stepped closer, ignoring Michael's warning flare of light, and then she fed me. Your lungs squeezed painfully. Fed you? With her fear, it whispered, leaning forward. With her desire to control what she could not. With her jealousy. With the darkness she invited. Michael's presence intensified, light pushing the creature backward. Enough. The thing hissed. Its skin cracked like dry clay, revealing darkness underneath. You always interfere, Michael. Even when the mortal doesn't deserve your protection. Step away from them, Michael commanded. The shadows around you trembled, vibrating like strings pulled taut. The doppelganger didn't move. They can't escape without me, it whispered. Because I am part of them now. And they are part of me. Your breath felt thin, fading. You stepped back instinctively. Michael extended his wing, shielding you. "Listen to me," he said, voice steady but urgent. "You must confront it. But not by fighting." "Then how?" You whispered, "By reclaiming the part of yourself that fear distorted. By seeing through the illusion that binds you." The doppelganger snarled. "No." Shadows shot out from its hands, whipping toward you like tendrils of night. Michael's sword flashed, slicing through the black tendrils, but they reformed instantly, multiplying, reaching. The creature screamed, not with anger but with hunger. It lunged forward, its form stretching like molten tar, face elongating, eyes widening into pits of writhing darkness. Michael pushed you back. "Now, say your true name." You choked. "What?" "Your full name. Speak it." The creature launched itself at you. Twisting midair like a broken puppet, teeth forming where they didn't belong, you inhaled, and spoke your name, not the name people call you casually, not the nickname, your true name, the one you rarely use, the one that feels like the oldest piece of your identity. The realm shook violently. The creature froze mid-lunge, its limbs cracked, its face split down the middle like a mask shattering, and from within, a scream of pure, ancient frustration erupted. The shadows around it twisted violently, recoiling from your voice as though burned. "No." It croaked. "No, you weren't supposed to remember." The darkness peeled away from it in long strips, unraveling it like cloth caught in a storm of light. Michael slammed his staff into the void, and waves of golden energy rippled outward, dissolving the last of the creature's form into smoke. When it was gone, silence fell, except not silence. You heard breathing, human breathing. Behind you, you turned slowly. It was her, the girl who used your photograph. Kneeling in the darkness, shaking, eyes red, hands trembling, face streaked with soot and fear. "I didn't mean for this," she whispered. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." Michael didn't look at her. Intent does not erase consequence. She sobbed. "Help me. Please. I don't know how to stop it." Michael finally met her eyes, expression unreadable. "You already released it. And now only they," he nodded toward you, "can decide your fate." You stared at her, the weight of the moment pressing down like a world made of shadow and regret. Michael stepped closer to you. "Choose," he said quietly. The darkness stirred around all three of you, waiting. The darkness waited, motionless but breathing, like a colossal beast curled around you. It listened. It watched. It pressed in close enough that you could feel its cold breath move across your skin. Even though nothing had a physical shape here, everything felt heavy, like every thought, every emotion, every fear weighed 10 times more than in the real world. She knelt before you, shaking so violently her teeth chattered. There were bruises on her arms that hadn't been there before. The ritual had marked her, punished her. Her eyes were full of something beyond fear. Regret. Desperation. A plea that hid behind every tremor of her voice. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I swear I didn't know it would turn into this." Michael's wings lowered slightly, wrapping you in a protective half-circle of gold. Humans often say that only when consequences rise. She chose to call what she did not understand. "But I didn't want to hurt him," she cried. I just didn't want to be forgotten. I wanted him to think of me." Her words struck something deep. Something complicated, but before you could respond, the realm itself twisted. A tremor passed through the darkness, subtle at first, then violent, like an earthquake in the bones of a world that should not exist. Lines of cracking light split across the space briefly, then sealed again. Michael stiffened. "She has awakened it," he said in a low, controlled voice. "Awakened what?" "You asked." Something groaned in the distance. It sounded like a mountain shifting. Like an ancient door opening. Like a creature turning over in its sleep. "The intention behind her spell," Michael said. "Emotion shapes reality here. Her panic. Her guilt. Her longing. All of it has given form to something powerful." Another crack of light tore open the sky, or whatever passed as sky in this realm, letting through a single enormous eye. Lidless and watching, the girl gasped, covering her face. "That wasn't part of the ritual. I didn't summon that." Michael's tone hardened. "But your emotions did." The eye blinked. The darkness trembled in anticipation, then bent. Folded. Shivered. A shape began forming in the distance, something standing tall. Too tall. Broad shoulders. Long limbs that dragged on the ground. A silhouette stitched together from the deepest fears in the human heart. Michael stepped forward, his wings raising, sword flaring with renewed light. "We have little time. Once it forms completely, it will not stop. It will consume everything tethered to the ritual, her, you, your shadow, your image. Even your memories." The girl crawled forward, grabbing your hand, her fingers cold as stone. "Please. Don't let it take me. I didn't want this. I swear. I didn't want this." You looked at her, really looked at her. She was terrified. Broken. But was it too late? Michael turned to you. "You must choose her fate now. What becomes of her decides what becomes of this creature." You swallowed. "How?" He pointed his sword toward the girl. "Either you forgive her or you condemn her." She froze. You froze. "What?" You said, confused. "How does that help?" Your choice determines the shape of the magic, Michael said. If you forgive her, the bond changes. The spell collapses, and the creature loses its anchor. And if I condemn her? You asked. Michael's expression didn't change. Then the creature will feed on her guilt. It will grow stronger. Strong enough to tear into your world even after we escape. The ground rumbled violently. The silhouette grew more defined, horns, arms like spears, a torso twisted and muscular like a nightmare sculpted from fire and tar. Its footsteps folded the realm like cloth with each step forward. The girl pressed her forehead to your hand. Please. I'm sorry. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me here. The creature roared, and the sound ripped through the darkness, shaking Michael's light. He turned back to you. Decide. You felt something tighten in your throat. Forgiveness wasn't simple. She had used your image in a spell, something forbidden, dangerous, selfish. She had endangered you. Taken your likeness, your shadow, your breath, and offered it to something dark, but condemning her meant creating an even bigger monster. Feeding the darkness. Strengthening the very thing that wanted you, wanted your soul. Michael met your gaze. This is not only about her. It is about what type of power you allow to shape your destiny. The creature stepped closer, its face now fully visible. It wore your face, twisted, corrupted, stretched into something monstrous. The girl sobbed. I didn't mean this. Please. Your heart pounded. The creature reached out with a long, shadow-clawed hand. Michael shouted, now. Choose. The darkness froze, holding its breath. Your mouth opened. Your choice was forming, but before the words left your lips, everything shattered. Not the ground, not the air, you. A blast of force shot through your chest, exploding outward like a shockwave. The darkness broke into shards of memory, your childhood, your fears, your reflections, your dreams, all spinning around you like debris in a cosmic storm. Michael lunged toward you, reaching out, shouting your name, but his voice stretched thin, distorted, fading. The girl screamed, reaching for you too. The creature howled with triumph, and you fell backward through a tear in the realm. Pulled by an unseen force that wanted only you, Michael's voice echoed as you vanished into the void. Hold on to who you are. Then silence, and darkness, and falling, and something waiting below. You fell into the void, darkness stretching endlessly in every direction, yet somehow, you were aware of everything at once. Your heartbeat, the cold sweat on your skin, the weight of the choices you had yet to make. The shadows you had confronted, the doppelganger born from your image, the girl who had tried to manipulate reality. It all collided in a chaotic storm around you, and then, you heard it, a whisper, faint but unmistakable. You are more than fear. You are more than shadow. You are more than image. It was Michael. His presence was here too, though invisible, intangible, anchoring you to something real amidst the collapsing nightmare. The void pulsed, and in its center, the corrupted creature, the one wearing your face, loomed. It reached for you with shadowed hands, its mouth open in a silent scream. Its eyes glowed with a dark hunger that sought not only your life but your very essence. You clenched your fists. You remembered every lesson, every moment you had ever doubted yourself and survived. You remembered the truth Michael had told you: you are more than what they summon, you are more than what they fear you to be. Enough, you whispered. Your voice steady despite the chaos. I am not yours. The words cut through the void like a blade. The creature recoiled, writhing violently, twisting as if your voice itself burned its corruption. You felt warmth, Michael's presence, flow through you, reinforcing the strength that had always been yours. The girl screamed behind you, but there was nothing she could do. This was your choice, your power, your confrontation. You opened your heart to forgiveness, not just for her, but for yourself, for the fear and guilt that had allowed this darkness to grow. I forgive you, you said, and the void itself seemed to shudder. And I forgive myself. The creature howled, a sound that split reality. Then shattered like glass. Light erupted from within you, golden and fierce, and it burned through the shadows, consuming the corrupted form. Pieces of the void peeled away, leaving clarity and space where chaos had ruled. You fell no longer. You floated, suspended in a calm, serene black that was empty but safe. Michael appeared beside you, radiant and unwavering, his wings folding gently. The girl knelt on the void's edge, trembling but alive, her eyes wide with disbelief. It's over, Michael said. The bond is severed. The darkness has no anchor now. It cannot reach your world. You nodded slowly, your body still shaking, your mind still racing. Relief washed over you, but so did understanding. You had survived not just because of power, but because of choice, because of courage, because you had faced the darkness within and refused to let it define you. The girl whispered, I'm sorry. And this time, you nodded. Not with fear. Not with weakness. But with compassion. I know. And it's done. The void around you dissolved, and the room returned. You were back. The phone sat on the table, dark and harmless, its spell broken. The shadows had receded. The air smelled normal again. Michael lowered his wings. Remember this night. Remember your strength. And remember this: darkness can touch anyone, but it cannot claim what is truly alive and unafraid. He turned and began to fade, his voice echoing softly as he disappeared. Go. Live. Protect yourself, and those who matter. That is all the guidance I can give you. You looked at the girl one last time. She had changed too, fear still lingered, but so did humility, and a spark of hope. She nodded. You nodded back, and for the first time since the darkness had risen, the night felt quiet. Safe. Complete. The photo? Burned in memory, nothing more than a reminder of a lesson learned, and as you sat there, heart still pounding but steadying, you realized something profound. The power to survive darkness had never been in anyone else's hands, it had always been in yours. The clock ticked forward. Time moved again. The world waited, unaware of the storm that had passed through it. Unaware of the choices that had reshaped what was possible, but you knew, and that was enough. The shadows were gone. The threat ended. And in that silence, you understood the truth. Courage, forgiveness, and self-knowledge were the only magic powerful enough to defeat the darkest of forces. The night was over, and the dawn would rise.